Did you know that in perimenopause and menopause, your body odour can change? I had no idea about this until a few years ago. Like everyone, when you go shopping for your toiletries, you probably pick up the same deodorant that you have always used. Well, I had been using the same one for many years, and then all of a sudden, it didn't seem to be working. Initially, I thought it was maybe a faulty batch or that the manufacturers had changed the ingredients slightly. I then purchased several more deodorants without much success until I eventually got one that did work after many months of trial and error. Then the penny dropped and I realised that it was another one of the 34 most common symptoms in perimenopause and menopause. So the four main areas that you might start to notice a difference are your underarms, in your mouth, your breath, your feet, and the vaginal area. These can all start to change. So why does your body odour change during menopause and perimenopause? There are many reasons for the change in these areas. Number one, your sense of smell. Your own sense of smell can become a bit more acute at this time. So you might notice that you smell things more powerfully now than you ever did. And it's not just your body odour. You might notice stronger smells from perfumes, from candles, certain foods, or the smell of paint. Things like that could be a lot stronger than you ever noticed. And do you recall when you were pregnant that you were much more sensitive to smells then? Well, that was your changing hormones, and it's the same now at this transitional stage of your life. Another thing that can impact it is digestion. With the reduced levels of estrogen, our digestion process can slow down and become much more sluggish, often causing problems with constipation. This can lead to your body being more toxic, so often the body will use sweat as a mechanism to get rid of those extra toxins. These toxins then become food for the bacteria that are living on our skin, which will cause changes in our body odour. Another thing, dehydration. If you're not drinking enough water, then your sweat is going to be much more concentrated, which means body odour is going to be stronger. So if you notice any difference in your body odour, the number one rule is to increase your water intake. Next thing, our temperature regulation. Our temperature regulation can go bonkers with the increase in hot flushes and night sweats. So with the extra sweating comes more bacteria on the skin, increasing body odour, especially under the arms and in the groin areas. This is also a time filled with higher levels of stress and anxiety, which can make you sweat too. Unlike sweat resulting from exercising or warmer weather temperatures, anxiety sweat is different and often more malodorous. In normal circumstances, sweat should be odourless, but when it combines with the bacteria on your skin, then things can start to get a bit stinky. Anxiety sweat is produced by the apocrine glands in the body, which are found in the armpit and groin areas, and it is a fatty sweat that bacteria just love, so it's not a good combination for sure. So we're going to look at the four main areas that are affected and see how you can best help. Firstly, the underarms. This is the primary place for sweating, and it can be the most problematic, especially if you're troubled with hot flushes and night sweats. The best way to deal with this is to avoid antiperspirants and replace with a deodorant. Do you know the difference in these two? The problem with antiperspirants is that when your body is desperately trying to regulate your body temperature, they stop you from perspiring. They form a barrier over your armpits to prevent the perspiration coming to the surface. Therefore, the sweat has to move to another area and be excreted through the skin. What can help? Deodorants, on the other hand, will stop the bacteria, so you won't smell, but they will allow you to sweat as your body wants to. And the more you sweat from your underarms, then the less likely you're going to sweat from elsewhere in the body. Most chemists and shops now all stock natural deodorants, which I highly recommend that you start using. I have been using my Forever Living aloe vera or salt of the earth deodorants, which are 100% natural and will provide long-lasting and effective protection against body odour. They come in a range of scented, unscented, roll-on or crystal deodorant sticks. So there's lots there for you to choose from. So swap your antiperspirant for a natural deodorant. The breath. Bad breath can be very embarrassing and humiliating, and if you're aware that it is there at all, many times we're not even aware of our own breath being a bit stinky and smelly. There's a few things here that can affect our breath and cause problems. First, our gums. Our gums can change, become more sensitive, and lots of people are troubled with bleeding gums as well. If the gums recede, you can end up with deeper pockets around the teeth that can trap food and contribute to bad breath. Dry mouth is another symptom for many, which also affects our breath. Secondly, if our digestion is more sluggish, there is a direct link between our stomach and gut health and our bad breath. So remember that our mouths are the first part of the digestive tract, and if our digestion is out of sorts, then this will affect the mouth as well. There also seems to be a link between liver function and our breath. So sometimes giving our liver a little support can benefit with our bad breath as well. So what can you do to help? Firstly, always make sure that you have regular checkups with your dentist and hygienist to make sure that everything is okay from a dental perspective. I personally see my hygienist every 6 months, which is very beneficial and just keeps on top of everything. Replacing your usual toothpaste with a natural toothpaste, as our gums can become much more sensitive to a lot of the chemicals that are in our normal toothpaste. Another area in the body that is affected can be our feet. And the feet, the body uses the feet to excrete toxins and sweat there. If you've been using antiperspirants and blocking off your underarms, then it is most likely that your feet will start to sweat more and become smelly during menopause or perimenopause. That, combined with artificial materials in our socks, shoes and tights, can cause a lot of problems. I've noticed this myself, and this is something that I have never ever been troubled with before. So now I also try and purchase all leather shoes. However, that's not always possible and doesn't necessarily mean that you won't sweat or you won't have smelly feet. How can you help this area? So foot deodorants you can try, which will prevent any smell but allow your feet to perspire. Salt of the earth do one as well, which I have been using and find helpful. And if you have shoes that have become a little bit smelly, then invest in charcoal foot deodorizers, which naturally absorb any smells. I used to buy these for my son's football boots and trainers, but never thought I would actually need them myself, but you never know. And obviously it's better to remove your socks and shoes whenever possible to allow your feet to breathe. As a reflexologist, I always do this as it has multiple benefits. We have over 7,000 nerve endings on the soles of our feet, so it's always beneficial to try and stimulate these, and walking barefoot is one way to do it, and it's also great to get you grounded. So if you're feeling that there's too much going on in your head, remove your socks and shoes and connect yourself to Mother Earth again. Another problematic area, the fourth area that we're going to discuss is around the vagina. So as estrogen falls, it affects the mucus in the vagina, which has a direct effect on the level of friendly bacteria that live there. If the balance of bacteria and the pH of our vagina changes, this can cause a change in smell. This is one of the areas where a lot of women get quite upset about, because the smell can really permeate your clothes and it can be really, really embarrassing. So to help with this area, if you're having any problem here, then I highly suggest you try a vaginal probiotic, which is wonderful to change the pH and get things under control again. Also, making sure your underwear is 100% cotton with no synthetic materials, avoiding tight jeans or trousers that can affect the airflow in the area as well. Ditch all the heavily perfumed washes, bubble baths, shower gels, bath bombs, soaps, as they will all change the natural pH of your vagina. You should only be cleaning yourself with plain water. The tissue in the vaginal area is so delicate, so treat it with care. And another no-no is the widely advertised vaginal deodorants now. Please avoid these at all costs, as they will change the natural pH and cause you problems. So there you have our video. I'm going to do a separate video for a few other tips and help with any problems with smells. If you found the video helpful, then please do share with anyone else who you think might benefit. And as always, the information here that I have provided is for your use, intended to help and guide you, but please do your own research and seek your help from your doctor if required.